Welcome back, RJB here, and I've got another replay for you. This time around, we've got a replay of the player Barcode A on the blue Zerg here on the top right of the map, and he's facing off against GosuKing. And GosuKing is one of the names used by JH, also known as Voss. I'm just gonna type it out, Voss or JH. And he is the player GosuKing, playing the Protoss here on the bottom side of the map. The blue Protoss, because the black Protoss is kind of stupid as a color. It's hard to see in the minimap, it's unfair, it shouldn't be there. It is there, but it shouldn't. So we're gonna turn it into blue, because blue is easier to see, and the red is also easy to see, and well, this blue is of course also easy to see. It's the pale blue. I honestly really like this color. It's really, really sweet. It's sweet looking. Way sweeter than this blue. Let's look at it. Look at the blue. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Anyway, that aside, we've got GosuKing going for what appears to be a mid build, but a mid build built in his choke, or you can also refer to it as a proxy gateway. He's building it right here in his choke. Whereas Barcode A is starting off with that choke hatchery. The choke hatchery is of course complemented by the early Zergling pool, or spawning pool it is called. Alright, he's building that pylon right there. Probably just because he needed the pylon. And this is the closest location he could build a pylon. So there's no really any big strategy behind it, he just needed the pylon. Overlord scouts the middle, sees no proxy mid-gate, so he's assuming he's going to be safe. So he's going to be probably lowballing his choke. Well, that is what some people would do. But against JH, you never know. You never know. He's gonna build, he's gonna send it to the front. He's just scouting the side there of his base just to make sure there's no pylon for cannons there. Also managed to keep his drone alive. Voss is trying to harass a little bit. I'm gonna call him GosuKing. GosuKing is trying to harass there a little bit. Yeah, that sounds way nicer than Voss. GosuKing. GosuKing. Look at the name. GosuKing. Yeah. Probe comes in, harasses the creep colony, but Zerglings are already on the way. It's only a single Zerg. Nope, there is more Zerglings there for a total of 8 Zerglings. This would be easy to fight off and repel. Those two Zealots there in the front are not going to achieve much, because those Zerglings are getting us around on the Zealots. The Zealots are going to go down. The Zealots are now trying to run away. He's trying to micro, trying to snipe the drone, but the drone stays alive. Drone stays alive. So it goes for a second Nexus and a Cybernetics core. That's a quick early Cybernetics core. Also has a simulator there finished up. Second simulator there on the way. Scouting the map now with his Zerglings. Barcode A is doing. That sentence structure made no sense. But nonetheless, I think I conveyed the message quite clearly. Zerglings trying to get us around on the Zealots. No, they're trying to run away. Trying to get back to base. Trying to deny entrance, but GosuKing doing a pretty great job at catching some of the Zerglings and killing them before retreating. Yeah, so Barcode A here has pretty much the freedom to not invest all that much minerals into his choke, because the frontal attack from GosuKing has already failed pretty much, and I think Barcode A somewhat assumes that GosuKing is on 2 gateways because there's only 2 Zealots coming out every single time. It would have been more Zealots if he had 3 gateways or 4 gateways, so he assumes he's somewhat safe and can somewhat lowball his choke there with only a small amount of Sunkens. And he's also going pretty early on his gas. He is not adding on a 3rd macro hatchery just yet, but he can afford to, so I'm expecting one to be coming up very soon. At the moment, he's too busy fighting here on the middle, trying to snipe that probe, trying to kill at least something and deny this contain from happening. But the contain is going to be set up, which means we're probably going to be seeing robotic facilities coming out here as well on the middle, after a couple of cannons come out here to at least secure the robos and the pylon. Barcode is fishing for the probe, but he cannot get through. JH is doing a pretty good job at sealing that off. Also has a Corsair on the way. Corsair is going to try to kill some of those overlords, but also going to try to get vision of the base of how far into his progression towards mass capability Barcode A is. Barcode A is hovering a lot of minerals there. He's pretty damn rich. Already on 31 drones, now 32. Whereas GosuKing is on 35. His probe count wasn't going up that quick because he went for the plus one pretty late. Unless he's got the +1 Nexus now, so his probe count should be going up somewhat quick. But will it be as quick as Barcode A's worker count? Though, that is the question. There's a robo there on the way. Barcode A is scouting GosuKing's base, so he has information on how far GosuKing has progressed until now, which is not all that far. He does have good rune range on the way there already. Going for mass gateways there on the middle to close the distance between spawning and attacking. Smart move. Definitely worth it. And Barcode A finally made a couple of Hydralisks, but the Hydralisk count is actually kind of damn low. Overlord spawning now though, so he can make another wave of Hydralisks to defend himself against those drops. But the best part of what Barcode A has been doing, which is all thanks to GosuKing going for the 2 gateway harass, which completely failed its purpose, is that GosuKing already has 7 macro hatcheries up and running. All 6. Number 7 is now spawning right now. And yeah, so he's doing pretty well. His drone count though is at the moment still somewhat low, but it should be skyrocketing up very quick, very soon, because he's got 9 drones on the way, and I'm expecting another wave of drones right afterwards. Because he's got all the highlights that he needs at the moment. GosuKing though is getting pretty damn scary here on the middle because he's spamming out massive waves of zealots and shuttles for storm drops. Usually you would be seeing them, the Protoss, go for Reavers and Zealots and run in through the front, try to force their way through, because Zealots are the cheapest to make, and because you're not using gas on your gateway units, because you're making Zealots, you can make a lot of Reavers. But GosuKing is going for Zealots and a drop at the same time. Will this work though? That is the question, because it looks like Barcode A is not having that much trouble defending his front, thanks to the small amount of Hydralisks he's got there. So it means he's got more Hydralisks to defend against shuttle drops. He also has some side vision there with the Overlords hanging on top of the hill. GosuKing didn't bother zoning them away with Corsairs. He's just letting that happen. Like, he could hang some Corsairs here on the side and keep those Overlords further away from the hill. But instead he's keeping his Overlords closer to the top corner of his base where they are completely safe from Corsairs. Somewhat worth it. Also keeps this entire portion of his base clean. Shuttle drop comes in from the north left side, but it gets taken down without any effort. Follow attack also happening at the same time, trying to chunk away some of those Sunkens there. This hatchery is making it hard for the Zealots to get in. Drop also comes in, but Barcode A spots it. Barcode A takes it down, which now means that the Storm comes down on top of the Sunkens and the Hydralisk, but doesn't kill all that many. Which now means GosuKing is forced to retreat back to his little containment block there to rebuild his mass and formulate and construct another attack to try and hit those drones or try and break in through the front. But because nothing has worked so far, Barcode A is somewhat comfortable with just building more new Sunkens there in the front and slowly droning up to become bigger and bigger and bigger. He hasn't made all that many additional Hydralisks so far. It's just comfortably getting bigger and richer. Another big wave of drones there, finished up. Lurkers are on the way. Once he gets those Lurkers burrowed up between the Sunkens there in the front, and a couple of them around his lair, the game is going to become progressively harder for GosuKing. That's a fact. So another 8 gateways there in the middle finishing up. Still only a single robo there in the front. Does he have a shuttle drop somewhere loaded up? There on the top, 3 shuttles, 2 Templars, no distraction zealots. I think that's a little bit greedy, but I think the method is going to be the same. Go in through the front with zealots and then go in with the shuttle drop. But because there's so many lurkers there in the front, those zealots are going to achieve absolutely nothing, which means that Barcode A can focus on just those shuttles to defend. And the shuttles get taken down really quick. The zealots there in the front are forced to retreat because the lurkers are there in the front, which now means that GosuKing is going to need an observatory. But he does have an observatory, but he doesn't have an observer yet. The observer should be queued up soon behind this shuttle, so we can at least start sieging the front again. And yeah, JH isn't really having much success this game. Barcode A doesn't even have to try all that hard. Everything has just kind of been failing because GosuKing has been doing the wrong thing. And he's been trying to do the right thing with the shuttle drops and the distraction there in the front, but it looks like he is somewhat mismatching his intent and his chosen strategy with what Barcode A is doing. Everything is playing into Barcode A's hand. Likewise, so is this. And he still hasn't taken down that hatchery there in the front, which is really making sieging harder and harder for him. If he just takes that down, he can access those sunkens there in the top side. Well, not the top side. You can access those sunkens there behind the hatchery without having to walk around the hatchery, which is forcing him to take a lot of damage. Observer there, finally on the scene, so he can start taking down those lurkers and finally start seeing the front there a little bit more real than before. Storms the Scorch there as well. Oh, Observer gets taken down. No, Observer stays alive because the Scorch got taken down by the Dragoons, so now the still has the Observer there, but Observer is too far away to spot the lurkers, but nonetheless he takes on the hatchery, 3 sunkens and 2 lurkers there. So at least he achieved something. Also, he set up cannons there on the side to try and zone those overlords away from the side so that Barcode A has less vision of his sides, less reaction time to those shuttle drops coming in. But while all was happening, Barcode A has hit his supply cap. 14 shy of it, but he's got pretty much everything that he needs. He's got 8 hatcheries there, he's got 4 more there on the top for a total of 12 macro hatcheries. He can easily fill up his base with more of them. So yeah, Barcode A is doing absolutely fine, whereas GosuKing is being, he's trying, but nothing is working at the moment. But there comes the shuttle drop. He's got shuttle drop loaded up. He's going to try to run in through the front, maybe to the side. He's going to go in through the front, but I think Barcode A is going to notice it. Yeah, he notices it, goes for the shuttle, goes for the shuttle, goes for the shuttle, but neither of the shuttles get taken down, so now the storm drop comes down, but the storm gets completely dodged there by Barcode A. Barcode A played that one really, really neatly. Doesn't take any damage whatsoever, stays alive, and Barcode A now has a chance to go for a counterattack. Is he going to go for the counterattack? I'm not sure, but he can try. He's got enough backup there in the front to keep him alive in case the counterattack goes wrong. So he's moving out because he's hit the 200 supply cap, goes in, snipes the Observer, pulls back to his lurkers, and his sunkens there. Another Observer still there alive, now starts morphing more lurkers, and the Zealots are running into the meat grinder. He did make a lot of robotics there though, so he can switch over to Reavers. Also has Reaver Scarab damage on the way. His Zealots are on 112, so his upgrades have been steadily going up really solidly and consistently. Whereas Barcode A is currently on level 1 weapon and 0 carapace. He's got level 2 weapon and level 1 carapace soon finishing up. He's got a lot of other overlords upgrades also on the way for his overlords, for example. He's got Zergling attack speed on the way as well. Cracklings are coming in. Whether he's going to need Cracklings, I'm not sure. He's got Guardians there on the bottom right of his base, and those Guardians are going to try to clear out the sides there, so he at least can establish vision once again. But he hit a Storm Drop. GosuKing hit a goddamn Storm Drop on Barcode A, so he finally got some results, and I missed a Storm Drop. I'm not going to rewind. But I am going to congratulate him on finally hitting one of those punches. A gut punch, so to speak. And I think Barcode A is now going to pay a little bit more attention to those shuttle drops. Because he has to. If he doesn't stop the next drop from hitting his drones, this game is going to snowball in favor of GosuKing very, very quickly. But until then, he's struggling with breaking through the front, because this is honestly a really great combination here from Barcode A. There's Guardians on top of the Sunkens, and of course Spores there to zone those observers away, and the Lurkers there on the low ground to take care of Zealots. But he goes in nonetheless. But he's got no Observer. Observer now moving to the front, but the Observer's going to get taken down by the Spore, gets zoned away, Observer goes down. Put the Observer on the wrong spot there, but the Spore goes down after the Observer goes down, but that means that GosuKing made some progress, but also lost his ability to progress even further, because his units get sent into the meat grinder of the Lurkers. And that's a total of 7 hatches there on the top row for Barcode A, 8 here for a total of 15, and then of course number 16 is his main, but I never add that one into the equation, even though it does count. GosuKing once again formulating his next attack. We're already 16 minutes in. GosuKing hasn't really cracked the base yet, but he has been doing... Did he storm drop him again? The Madman storm dropped him again. He's doing it so well that even I am not seeing them happening. Maybe it's the colors. Maybe I'm sitting a little bit too crooked in front of my screen at an angle that doesn't really help me spot them, because the blue somewhat gets distorted on my screen to become darker and blends in with the darkness of the minimap. Nonetheless, another storm drop comes in. Unloads a Templar. Templar storms. Templar kills 7 drones. Most of the drones get sent to safety. Pulls the remaining drones back to his minerals, but he wants to take care of the shuttles first, because there might still be Templars in there. At the same time, he's taking down more Sunkens there in the front, taking down a lot of those Lurkers there as well. So he is making more and more progress as we're speaking. Whereas the first 14 minutes had him make no progress whatsoever, he has managed to get himself back together and started creating some really good attacks here on Barcode A, who has been struggling at holding them off. GosuKing, kudos to you, you're doing a great job. Keep doing on this great job, and you will eventually break your way in. But Barcode A now has a lot of Guardians there in the front, hovering on top of his Sunkens. That is definitely going to be pretty hard for GosuKing to get through. But GosuKing has 2-2-3 upgrades, and he's got 3-3-3 soon to be finishing up. Whereas Barcode A has no upgrades on the way at the moment, simply because he cannot afford them. Or well, he couldn't afford them, he can afford them now. Those highlights are on 1-2, a little bit behind on those Dragoons. But it shouldn't really hurt him all that much, because the most important thing with Zerg is reproducing your mass super duper quick. And the essential part for that is having a lot of drones on your minerals and having a lot of income, which is something Barcode A at the moment does not yet have. He's got 53 drones, but a couple of those drones are on the gas. In comes GosuKing once again. He doesn't have a drop lined up this time. He just wants to break into the front. He's assuming Barcode A is too poor to keep on defending. But look at all those Guardians. This is pretty much the definition of a meat grinder. But look at it. The storm's going down on the Guardians, taking out most of the Guardians, which now means those Dragoons have a little bit of an easier time trying to break through. But the Sunkens there still nonetheless taking care of the remainder of the Dragoons. It looks like he made some progress once again. You can consider this a tug of war. Whoever does the best job, of course, or whoever is the strongest will advance the most. And look at him, he is still advancing thanks to his upgrades being almost on 3-3-3. The upgrade superiority is really showing here. He took down most of the Guardians, took down a lot of Sunkens, took down a lot of Hylas there as well, and has kept Barcode A busy and forced to keep spending on making new units to defend himself with. But while it was happening, no new Storm Drop came out for GosuKing, and I really think another Storm Drop right there would have sealed the deal. Because if that one hit, Barcode A would not have been capable of rebuilding his entire choke here in the front. Shuttle's coming in, but he's flying straight into Scorches. Scorches, will they hit the right ones? GosuKing, Barcode A starts dodging the shuttle storms, and the storms get dodged, drones stay alive, and the remainder of the shuttles go down as the Templars go down there right after the storming. Barcode A finally has a good anti-drop response that I really like, which means he buys himself a lot of time and gives GosuKing a timer on the clock to play against. Because this is when Barcode A is finally getting the freedom of doing whatever he wants to do. Because this is a pretty solid frontal defense he's got going here. This is a pretty solid frontal defense because this observer out of range comes into range, sees that there's a lot of lurkers there around the Sunkens, storms on the lurkers, gets something done. A level 3 upgrades for all of his upgradable stuff done and finished. So Barcode A hangs in there. GosuKing tries and tries, keeps sending in those units. With his 12, 18, 20, 28 gateways he's got there on the middle. And he's got another 2 there in the front. A total of 30. He's not really using those 2. He's making a lot of, I think he's going for carriers here. He's got a lot of, is he going for, wait, he's not going for carriers, he's going scout speed. He's going for scout speed. That's interesting. He might be switching up into mass scouts, but he cannot afford it, because that's a lot of gas he's going to need for that one. But it does look like he is planning on it in the near future. Your frontal attack still coming in here, but Barcode, oh, storms! Oh, storm's coming here in the front. I thought I heard a storm and expected it to be there in the back, but it wasn't in the back. At this point, Barcode A should be adding on a couple more drones, because 59 drones is not that many. You should also have to consider that 30 of those drones are on the gas, which means he's only got about 29 of them on the minerals. He did make another wave there though, so now he's on 69 drones, but he might still need a couple of more of them. He might still need about 10 more on the minerals, but nonetheless, GosuKing has almost broken through the entire frontal defense wall there, but Barcode A finally sends in his Hydras from the sides as a last-ditch effort to save the Sunkens there in the front and push GosuKing away, who's now forced to regroup another massive units before going right back in. I'm gonna take a giant sip of a drink to brace myself for the incoming onslaught. Incoming onslaught. Onslaughter is not a word. Well, you could call it a slaughter, because those units are just running into the slaughterhouse, hoping to progress tiny bit by tiny bit every single time these dragoons give their lives. Zealots though have a hope of respawning and being reborn as dragoon. Dragoons, it's your last shot. Once you die as a dragoon, you're gone forever. Gone forever. Observer there in the front takes care of the observers. The Spore takes care of the observers. The observer's pretty far away. The lurkers there burrowing up there in the front, trying to take care of those dragoons, but dragoons tearing through nonetheless, because dragoons are so damn strong if you have a lot of them in a ball, just like this, moving forward, taking down everything they see. He's making progress. He is making some real progress. I like this. But Barcode A now having 70 drones, which means more income, is steadily producing new units, is steadily managing to defend himself. He's got some mules there on the way as well, throws on the Dark Swarm there in the front to keep... Well, if there were lurkers under there, I would... Well, he's basically helping GosuKing here. He should have thrown down a Plague, not a Swarm, because now it means that those dragoons there can stand under the Swarm, and the Reavers will take care of the Zerglings. So the Zerglings are kind of not doing much. He tries to focus down the Reavers, but the Reaver goes under the Dark Swarm just in time, which now means that the Hydralists that are coming in from the side will go down to the dragoons under the Dark Swarm. But now he's forced to progress beyond the Dark Swarm to take care of those Sunkens. But nonetheless, he is making progress. There's only 4 Sunkens left there in the front for Barcode A, which now means Barcode A is in a very, very nasty situation. He's gonna have to start using those Plagues. He's got Plague on the way, but Plague hasn't finished yet. Observer there goes down. I heard the sound. But look at this. GosuKing is clearing out all the units Barcode A has there, coming in from the sides, from the hatcheries. And he's making so much progress on this push specifically. Look at this. He's already taken down the entire frontal static defense. And his Barcode A is pretty much on his hind foot here. Only has Guardians, Hydralisks remaining. Tries his hardest to push through though. GosuKing is doing an amazing job. Tries to get some. Oh, there's the Plague. The Plague might turn this around because these units are all going to be on low HP because of the Plague. I'm really glad he's using Plagues now. A lot of units now on the way, streaming out with his... how many was it again? 15? 15 hatcheries producing pilots. You honestly only need 15. More, of course, always helps. But there's only so many minerals you can spend at once. And yeah, Reavers go down, more Hydralisks are spawning. Those Reavers were honestly the biggest hurdle for him to overcome. It's gonna take another 15 seconds before those Reavers there from the back make it all the way to the front to be relevant, which means that these Hydralisks already here can start taking down these Zealots and those Dragoons and slowly progress forward. Temple there in the bottom corner gets taken down. Great focus there from Barcode A. GosuKing though, trying his hardest, but I think Barcode A is making the pushback here. If only GosuKing had kept on storm dropping instead of assuming he would win with that push, he could have ended this game, I am sure. Because killing those drones in this stage of the game would definitely put the nails in the coffin of Barcode A, and we'd be playing some Astronomia there. But no Astronomia today. Nonetheless though, this fight is pretty much never ending. This is pure macro against macro. There's a little bit of micro going on there as well, but most of this is just who can make the most units as quick as they can and send them into the conflict, into the confrontation, and have them fight and duke it out for you basically. And whoever can progress the most, tug of war. But will there be a pushback from Barcode A against GosuKing, or will GosuKing only move forward and never lose this foothold he built himself here? I do have to admit, it becomes very, extremely, stupidly hard for the Zerg to defend their base once you lose the front there. Once you lose those Sunkens there, it becomes exceedingly difficult for the Zerg to fight off these waves of units from the Protoss. Because Protoss units are just that damn strong. Specifically the Reavers. Look at how many kills these Reavers already have. They have a total of 40 kills combined. But he's actually making progress, bouncing back to the front, takes down most of the Reavers, more Hydralisks coming in there. He has to kill those Reavers with the Guardians if he wants to hold this. But I don't think he's gonna get it. I don't think he's gonna get it. Because the Reavers just take down the Hydralisks so quick. Really doing an amazing job there. Storm comes down on the Guardian, but this time around, Zerglings and Hydralisks coming down from behind, from the back of the base, trying to take down those Reavers, but those Reavers, once again, taking down those Hydralisks and Zerglings so damn quick. Look at this. Those Dragoons also are so damn beefy and tanky, it takes so long for them to go down. And the Dragoons pretty much function as a wall for the Reavers, protecting the Reavers from damage from Hydralisks. It's honestly a super strong combination there. Also takes down the Overlords with the Corsairs, and that's going to really come back to bite Barcode A in the butt. Because that's so much supply he's losing, which means he's got to wait for Overlords to finish first. He already has them queued up because he knew it was coming. Nonetheless, this slows down his ability to rebuild his mass by a lot. Because he's got to send all these units into the meat grinder, and he's going to have to wait, I think about 10 seconds in total before the Overlords were finished up, before he can queue up more units. He's sending those Lurkers from the back to the front, burst them up right next to the Reavers, but most of the Lurkers actually go down before they are burrowed up. Only 3 of them make their way to the none of them make their way to the front because they've all been taken down. GosuKing is showing one of the best pushes you can make in a Protoss versus Zerg. Those Reavers are absolutely dominant. Barcode A played really well. If only he kept his drones alive in the earlier phases, he would have had a higher chance here. nonetheless, great disruption webs coming down there on top of the highlights so we can take down the remainder of the Overlords. Overlords once again going down. Only 81 supply, 80, 65 supply. Cat 49, 41. He's got 41 supply cap, which is pretty much 2 Overlords on all of his hatcheries. But the impossible happened. He managed to fight off that entire wave of attacks coming in from GosuKing. But he has to wait for still 17 Overlords to spawn. Great disruption web there, rendering those Hylas unable to fight back. GosuKing once again makes his way through his choke point into the wide open area of Barcode's A's base. But Barcode A is surprisingly doing a pretty surprisingly holding on. Look at this. That's 12 Reavers. 12 Reavers. Supported by Corsairs. The Corsairs are there to take down the Guardians, and the Reavers, 12 Reavers in total, are there to mow down whatever is sent into them. Which in this case is those Hylists. Look at them go down so quick. They don't really stand a chance, so he's progressing. He's progressing. He's got 4 more Reavers there in the back. He's got a total of 17 and 15 at the moment. Mutalisk on the way there from Barcode A. He lowered his drone count by quite a bit to make Sunken's there in the front to buy himself time, but as a result his income has gone down as well, because he's only got 30 drones left on his minerals. 30 of course on the gas. So you can see he barely has any minerals whatsoever, because he's forced to non-stop spend, and it's gotten to the point where he cannot even build a mass anymore. Look at his supply, it's down to 1. Ooh, he's forced to cancel the Guardians because the forces were taking down the Guardians, which means it's going to be harder and harder to fight off those Reavers that are in the front. Also, his Mutalisks are not fully upgraded. They're on level 3 carapace, but level 0 attack damage. It means these Reavers pretty much take no damage. They pretty much take no damage. And the Archon, the Corsairs, the Dragoons take them down so quick. Wait. Ooh, I thought it was going to be a shot on the drones there, but the drones stay alive for now. But I think this is the end. I think this is where GosuKing takes home the victory over Barcode A, and it becomes yet another Protoss victory over the Zerg. Barcode A played that really well. GosuKing was kind of flailing around in the first 14 minutes, but after that he pulled himself together, formulated the correct strategy: Reavers, Templars, Dragoons, Drops, Observers. And with that combination, he managed to tear through Barcode A's resistances. And this is the way to play Protoss against Zerg in the late game. Reavers, pretty much. Templar Storms, pretty much. Because Zerg units are, they kind of just go down to a single storm. They go down to a single Scarab hit. They are not that strong. Like, the strength of Zerg lies in having a huge mass. And if you can keep the pressure up and force the Zerg to non-stop send units into the meat grinder to avoid getting overrun, this is what happens. Pretty well played there from GosuKing, also known as Voss or JH. And Barcode A fought heroically. But it wasn't enough. Not today. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. It was kind of fun to cast. Although most of it was kind of contained to this little frontal portion here. I think we spent 20 minutes in this portion. 20 minutes. So I was pretty much just looking at the exact same spot here. And it was kind of like the same stuff being sent in time and time again. But nonetheless, well executed by GosuKing.